Yep, hello everyone to this demonstration of GitHub commit extension. And basically, the idea behind this extension is connecting Jupyter notebooks with GitHub as a versioning system. Because I found that uh, dealing with versioning system for data scientist and data engineer has been a long pending task. So I just made this small extension that enables committing your Jupyter notebooks to a version control system like Git with a click of a button. So I would like to demonstrate that only, and it has pretty basic steps to follow, but yeah, if we don't follow in the right order, then it might create some hiccups. So yeah, just to augment this instruction book, I'm making this video. And to start with, I have this EC2 machine. This is the first time I'm logging into it, and I think this is the right point to start for anyone. And a couple of things that we required at first would be the dependencies. So just updating the machine with the latest packages, and because we would be requiring pip, then we would be requiring Jupyter, so these things would be required so before working with the extension. So Python 3 pip, so this would be yeah, so using Python 3 pip, what we'll do is we will install Jupyter and then the extension. And we would be using Python 3 only, and would recommend everyone to use Python 3 only, because the scope of Python 2 that it was deprecated, the updates and everything has been deprecated since the start of 2020. So best is to use Python 3, and that's why only we developed everything around keeping this in mind beforehand. Yeah, we are done with Python 3. And to make things a bit easier, what I usually do is, because you see pip won't be working but pip 3 would be working here. Yup, so I just create an alias so that I can, okay, sorry, I missed the equal to sign, so that I can use pip instead of pip 3. And the first thing we do with pip is we install Jupyter. And Jupyter, this has been the go-to tool for any data engineer, for any data scientist, for working with data frames, with Python, with R, with pandas, and even with the visualization tool. So I found it very useful, and till date I am using this at various instances. So we have our Jupyter setup, we have everything set up now, and the foundation for the extension, and we just follow the steps that are mentioned here. We install the extension first of all, so this should not take much time. We can copy the server extension. So basically, after installing the extension, we integrate it and bridge it with the Jupyter, and it says command Jupyter is not found. Basically, we have installed Jupyter using pip, but it would require an log out and log in back to the machine for the command, the terminal, to understand that Jupyter actually exists. Yeah, you can see now we are good to go. Now we'll use the server extension and we will enable the integration. Yep, we also do this NB extension. So these are basically bridging the UI components and the server side components of Jupyter with our extension. Then there are a couple of manual steps that need to be done, which are mentioned here. I'm versed with these, so I'll go through the steps and you can go through these as well. So these are also explanatory. So first things first, we need to have SSH keys that should be present inside our machine. So I'll just do SSH keygen, and I'll go with the default options, not using even a passphrase. And what I'll need is, I will take this public key, SSH public key, I will copy this key and I will paste it inside my so if I go to the settings of my profile, I can see this option SSH and GPG keys. So inside this only I will attach my public key. So testing Jupyter commit extension. So I have added this key, and now what I will be able to do, I'll show you. What I have to do is I have to clone this repository into my local machine, the machine which I am working in. So now a simple git clone, and you can see it is using SSH now. A simple git clone would work now, but if SSH was not configured, then either I can use this HTTPS option, but yeah, that requires you to put in your username and password time and again. So SSH is the preferred way. Now we have cloned this repository, and when we have cloned this repository, the next step would be to configure certain things. So there is an env.sh file, you can see here as well. What I'll do is I'll open it inside my machine, and there are few git parameters that need to be set. So first of all is the git parent dir. So this is like the parent directory from where you would be I would say from where you would be instantiating your Jupyter. So this is that directory, and inside this parent directory can be even like multiple branches that you need to work with, or even the branch with which we would work. So that should be present inside this parent directory, and for now I am just keeping this as this tilde symbol. So this means like home Ubuntu. So this is the short version of that. And the repo name, yeah, so this git repo name, this is basically a repository I have created beforehand only. You see this git jup hub repo. So this is one repository inside my account only, where I want the notebooks to be pushed with the commit message and everything. So my versioning of the notebooks would be done inside this repository. I'll use the master branch for now because we are just testing. This is my username, and this is my password. Oh, not password, sorry, this is the email. Next we have the access token. So this GitHub access token is basically inside the settings only. So if you go to settings, you would be able to see the developer settings, and we use the personal access tokens. And basically personal access tokens testing extension. So these allow our extension, the GitHub commit extension, to interact with Jupyter in a way where minimal authentication or like no authentication is required. So that's why we are using it. And just copy paste the access token, and this is the upstream username. So this is what would be reflected when you commit your changes, when you push your changes. So this would be the username that would reflect who did the change. Yeah, I have configured correctly my env.sh. Now the next step is to source this env.sh. So basically it would run this shell script, and what you will see is even the repository that you mentioned there, that has been cloned here, and many like these environment variables have been set up for you to work. And moving forward, this is the repository, and from within this repository, or even outside this, from this parent repository, I can instantiate my GitHub instance. So GitHub Jupyter, not GitHub instance, I can instantiate my Jupyter notebook. So basically Jupyter notebook and IP is equal to 0.0.0, and this would like open it for all because I am testing. So I am just opening it for the entire world, so that because the browser is not present inside this machine. So I'll need to copy the token as well as the port. So this, let me copy all these things in a new browser tab, then I'll append, or I'll say I will prepend the IP. So this is the IP, and I've appended the token and everything. This should take like minimal some time because of the latency, and we are like interacting first time with this machine over the web. So within few seconds this should be up. Yeah, now we can see our notebooks. We can also see whatever is present inside the repository. So now let's create a new Python 3 notebook, and I will just do some minimal changes inside this notebook, and I'll demonstrate how using the extension we can move the notebook. Just expanding this, yeah, using this extension, you see this would be present inside your normal Jupyter, but here you have this button. So let's start with a simple hello world. Yep, good to go here, and testing the integration. This is the name of the notebook. Now when I click on this button, see we have this commit message, testing commit. This can be whatever you want, something that makes sense, what you have changed from the previous version. Okay, now there are two options. Either you can push the notebook, so this would, because Git also supports the IPyNB notebooks, but if you want to push this notebook as a Python file, as a Python script, so that can also be done using this checkbox. If it's checked, then it will only commit the source code. So source code means the Python, this would convert this notebook into a Python script, and then push that to the Jupyter or to the Git. But what I'll do is, firstly I will uncheck this and I will push the Jupyter notebook to start with. So this should take very less time, and yup, the green box shows that we are good to go. We can go to our directory, and you see this is the IPyNB file. So this is IPython notebook basically, and if I open it, so this is a good feature that we have in Git already, that it reflects the same way that we had in our Jupyter environment. And just to demonstrate, I'll also push the source code, testing source code push, and when I do this, what it will allow me to do is it will convert this notebook into a Python script, and then you see this is now .py instead of .pynb. And let me go back to my repository. Yeah, here is the py file, and you see this you can run like inside your local. So both of the options are available, and both can be leveraged. And with the, like you can see, with a click of a button, basically whenever you are working with your version, you want to commit it. Now let's say print testing again. I made some changes to my notebook. Now I want this latest version to go, so I prefer latest notebook. I prefer notebooks to be pushed, so it's your personal choice. And make sure you have saved it, and there are actually some changes inside the notebook, else this would throw an error. So that's one thing that you should keep in mind. And now if I go to the notebook, you see the size has also changed, and now we should, yeah, testing again also is here, and even the commits, latest notebook, everything is like present here. So like this, any data scientist or any data engineer, you can like very easily leverage this extension and use version control along with your notebooks, your Jupyter environment, and this would help very well in the longer run. And I'm pretty well sure that everyone knows the advantages of version control in such a setup. Yep, thanks a lot for connecting, and I would come up with more such tools. And don't forget to subscribe, to like, to just as a source of motivation, because I don't want to earn anything from this initiative, but yeah, that's just sharing my $2 with all of you. Yeah, thanks a lot.